minutes. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Sharice Johnson Moore here. How is everyone doing today? And welcome to Authors Excerpt Sunday podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name is Mr. Craig Cooke, and he is the author of let me see. Okay, he's the author of Business Kung Fu, right? Business Kung Fu, and it is a very interesting book. I have read some of it, and I really like the concept of the book. Hello, Mr. Craig, and how are you doing today?
Very good, Therese. Thank you for having me on your show. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime, anytime, anytime. So, Mr. Craig, tell us about yourself.
Sure. So most of my career has been in the digital marketing space. I started a digital first company way back in the 20th century. I like to call it 1996,
Okay.
and doing digital transformation work, and long before these buzzwords were ever created. And really started it with just very minimal resources, $1,300 and a computer, along with a couple of friends, and just kind of went about it the old-fashioned way, just kind of grinding, and no outside investors or funding or anything like that.
Hmm.
And eventually hit a nice growth stride, and was on the Inc. 5000 list 5 years in a row, and one of the best places to work 4 years in a row. A bunch of great achievements and accomplishments. And then sold the company in 2019 to a world class creative digital agency. And then I stayed on for 3 more years in my existing role as CEO. And then in 2022, I left and started a whole new chapter in life, hence the book and other things that I do.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So, what was the inspiration behind your book, Business Kung Fu?
Sure, sure. So, around 2011 or so, I'd always wanted to write a book for a long time. And I said, it's time to write that book. And I thought about it, and it just kind of came to me. Oh, business kung fu, of course. Yeah, that's what I should write about. And the concept is how when I studied Chinese kung fu from ages 17 to 25, I learned all these various principles in regards to martial arts. But I actually took those principles and applied it to setting up my company, running it, the mindset, the method of how it was structured, the inner workings, and so forth. So the book explains that approach, starting with building a foundation, and all these other parallels to
Hmm.
uh, martial arts, and running a company and going through that whole entrepreneurial journey. So that's the concept, and it took me 12 years to write it, but I got it done finally, once I had a little more time to get it done. And it's a better book, anyways, that as opposed to if I had finished it a decade ago.
Oh, okay, okay. So, what was the most challenging aspect of writing Business Kung Fu?
Yeah, it was just really the time frame, since it did take that long. Just making sure that I decided not to just let it go.
Hmm.
um, you get busy with all your various priorities, which I had many at the time. Uh, you know, Inc. 5000 company 5 years in a row, and all these other things going on, family life, juggling
Hmm.
so many things,
Yeah.
health too. Um, it just that was the challenging part, was just keeping it alive.
Okay. So, what how was your writing process? How was the writing process for you writing this book?
Yeah, in the very beginning, when I came up with the title, which, like I said, just kind of came to me, I decided, let me create an outline. What is it going to cover? And I just thought about that outline, and kind of did a rewind from when I was studying martial arts, and then from day one of starting the company and how it evolved, and just started creating an outline. And then over the years, as I started to write uh, some of the chapters, I would revisit that outline from time to time. Is it still on point? Do I need to edit it at all? I made some slight edits here and there. Um, but for the most part, I'd say 80% of it stayed true. And just I would just kind of write bits at a time when I had time, and then when I was able to exit my company fully in 2022,
Hmm.
I had much more time available. And yeah, I had over half the book um, completed at that time. So I said it's time to finish it. So I just went at it and got it done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Are you ready to read an excerpt from your book for us?
sure, I'd be happy to do that. Okay, let me. So this section, this was something that I learned that I would typically share with employees when it came to situations of problem solving or overcoming challenges, because people get kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
They get spun out on a challenge or a problem, and they focus on that and they can't get past it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I use the analogy of breaking materials, breaking cement and red bricks, which
Mm-hmm.
there's some pictures in my book
Okay.
of back in the day when I do that stuff.
All right.
So
All right.
yeah, so this little section is an excerpt from that chapter here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is another important lesson, actually a critical lesson. I often explain to others the analogy of breaking materials to dealing with life's problems. It takes discipline to be prepared, but once you encounter problems, you cannot focus on the problem or obstacle in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to focus past it. Focus on creating a solution and have belief in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Obstacles in life come up all the time, personally and in professional life. If you
Mm-hmm.
focus only on the obstacle or challenge at hand, you will never break the brick.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on the problem breeds disdain and causes a downward spiral of negativity that creates a whole other challenge to overcome. And you might ask, why should I believe in myself? My response is that you should be fully equipped to handle the challenges you face due to the extreme discipline you have applied to honing your techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Believe and know with certainty that you can overcome, and you will. Then focus on the solution and break through your obstacles. The joy derived from overcoming is always exhilarating. And I
Okay.
just have a little diagram that kind of explains that process of
Okay.
applying the focused mind and faith in
Mm-hmm.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then focusing past the problem, which is the material, the brick, or whatever the problem is, and
Yeah.
then the end solution is the goal. So
Oh, okay. I like that
yeah,
concept. I like the concept. It, the relevance, where you're in a class and you're taking martial arts and you can apply that martial arts to your everyday living. And it all
yes,
comes back to mindset. You know,
yes,
well, when the problem come up, okay, well, let's think 5 steps beyond the problem instead of just
mhm.
dwelling on the problem and finding excuses on how not to solve it.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. So
100%. You
yeah,
nailed it.
yes,
You
yes.
nailed it. You
Um,
nailed it.
yes. So can you share some interesting experiences while writing your book? Like maybe 1 or 2 experiences while writing your book.
Interesting experiences while writing. Well, I would say once I really started to sit down and go through writing the remaining parts of the book in
Mm-hmm.
2022,
Mm-hmm.
uh, as I was writing, I was like, you know what, I need to do a rewind and let me go back to the very beginning and
Mm-hmm.
just make sure how on point it was. And I made various edits. And as
Yes.
I was thinking through that, I was like, wow, because at some points I was frustrated that wasn't getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
But as I mentioned earlier, during this portion of writing, I found like, wow, what a great thing it is that
Mm-hmm.
I'm finishing this book now
Okay.
as opposed to earlier. And that was something that I just helped me feel really good about it, helped me settle down to, and really just enjoy
Mm-hmm.
um, completing the writing, just going back and refining it based on the additional experience I had gained over the years.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, how did you handle writer's block or periods of creative stagnation?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the hardest part I find is that initial step, getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're staring at the screen and it's like nothing's coming. Like, what am I going to write about?
Mm-hmm.
For me, oftentimes if I'm stuck like that, I just need to kind of get up and walk away,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and yeah, I just take a break, get up, walk away, and then come back, whether it's an hour later, 2 hours later, maybe even the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's interesting, just suddenly, um, you have that inspired moment where things start to just flow.
Yes.
So yeah, it's in that moment of being stuck, just taking a break and coming back. And I found that to be the case for many times of blocks, whether I was doing some programming work and I
Mm-hmm.
was having a block with a certain sort of issue, or
Mm-hmm.
any design creative challenges, or other business just problem solving. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So, what would be your advice for aspiring authors?
Um, people have all kinds of reasons as to why they maybe can't do it. Maybe they're not worthy enough.
So, I want to just, here we go. Here
Oh,
we go. Oh, it's
sorry.
okay. It's
Yeah,
all
that's,
right.
that's strange. Somehow we got disconnected.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I was just saying that there's value. There's something. Everyone has something to share with somebody
Mm-hmm.
else,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd say don't get hung up in the mind
Mm-hmm.
about whether you're good enough, and all. That's just the negative self-talk that
Yeah.
all of us face on a day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
basis. I still
Yes.
go through that, even despite all my experience
Mm-hmm.
and success. There's days when I got that negative self-talk going, and I just gotta, like, punch that guy in the face and to get out of
Right.
here.
I know, right? Scram. So,
Yeah, like, get out of here. Yeah,
yeah,
you're,
yeah,
you're wrong. I'm good.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the big thing. It's embracing that positive mindset and having faith in yourself.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Mr.
to take
Craig.
that first step.
I know, right? Just
Yeah.
walk it on out, right? Just walk it on out and forget the naysayers and
Yes.
the Nellies and all that and so with this book, when did you publish this book?
It was released November 16th last year.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's been out. Okay, and do you have any upcoming events that you're doing coming up or speaking events and things
Um,
like that?
I've been I've developed a keynote presentation based on one particular aspect of my book called the Five Elements of Success,
Yes.
and I've been experiment with that on a limited basis, and it's been getting really great feedback. People
Hmm.
have been really receptive to it.
Yes.
So now I just need to find more opportunities.
Hmm.
Now that I've been testing the waters, it's good. So now I need to start finding more opportunities. So I will be speaking more. I do have um, well, that's more of a limited engagement. It's not like a public thing coming
Hmm.
up here. But and there's this whole other thing that I do too, Chinese medical qigong,
Hmm.
and that is a big part of. There's a martial aspect to that, but there's also the healing and the spiritual component, and that
Hmm.
was a big part in my business journey also.
Okay.
And I'm sharing that with others through my consulting. I'm actually starting to teach my first class coming up next month, but it's
Hmm.
just private to my existing clients.
Yes.
Early 2025, I'm going to open it up, and I'll have a program, Qigong for business professionals. That'll be all part of this like business kung fu series. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So Mr. Craig, where can we find your book?
it's available on Amazon as of today. I plan on releasing it on Barnes and Noble pretty soon, but
Hmm.
as of today, it's on Amazon. So if you just go to Amazon and search for business kung fu, it'll pop up. If you search for business kung fu on Google, it pops
Yes.
up,
Yes.
all over the page. So it's easy to
Okay.
find.
All right. So is there anything else you would like to share with us before we end our time together?
Yeah, sure. People can download the first chapter of my book for
Mhm.
free on my website, which is c-squaredpro.io. That's the letter C and
Mhm.
then squared spelled out pro.io,
Yes.
c-squaredpro.io.
Yes.
So that first chapter contains that model, 5 elements of success framework.
Yes.
It's really interesting, and that's something that a lot of people are really interested in.
Hmm.
So that's one thing. Another thing too is I have a saying in my book: uh, "Be of service to self,
Hmm.
so that you can be of service to others for a lifetime."
Okay.
Because there's a big lesson I learned in my entrepreneurial journey how I wasn't taking care of myself. It was all about other people,
Hmm.
and I suffered big health challenges because of that.
Okay.
And it took me reversing that and making myself a priority to reverse all of that. So
Okay.
that's important because once you take care of yourself,
Yeah.
um, you're good to take care of others
Yes.
for life.
Yes, yes, so true, so true. Well, thank you, Mr. Craig Cook, for coming in and sharing your book, Business Kung Fu. And you come back anytime you get ready, and come and share all of the good opportunities that you have for the public. And, I'll help you spread the word. We're going to advertise and put it on out there and everything. And thank you so much for coming in to be a guest on Arthur's Extra Sunday podcast. And I hope you have a blessed day. All right, Mr. Craig?
Oh, thank you so much.
All
Peace
right.
and blessings to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Craig. All right. So I want to say thank you to everyone that came today for Arthur's Excerpt Sunday podcast. Our special guest was Mr. Craig Cook, and the title of his book is entitled Business Kung Fu and How You Can Apply some mind techniques to really grow your business, and it's about mindset. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for coming in today, and I want to say, if you have a book and you want to bring exposure to your book, come on and be a guest on Arthur's Extra Sunday podcast. All right, where we can put your book out, we can give you a plethora of exposure, and it is always good for your credibility as an author. All right. I love you all, and everyone have a blessed day. Bye, babies.